tuning in to the post-race press conference from Salt Lake City, round number 15 of the 2020 Monster Energy Supercross Championship. I want to welcome the 250 and 450 podium riders for today. Jet Lawrence, Dylan Ferrandis, Austin Faulkner in the 250 division. Congrats, guys. And in the 450 division, Eli Tomac, Cooper Webb, and Ken Roczen. Congratulations. Let's kick things off with the 250. Jet, I'll start with you. First podium of your career. We talked on the podium a little bit about it, but you've got guys like Damon Bradshaw, James Stewart, Travis McDonough that have been able to come in very young and make an impact. Do you think about those guys at all and look to accomplish what they did, or are you just trying to set your own path?
Yeah, I'm just trying to set my own path mainly. No, it's definitely cool to be like kind of up with those guys, but mainly trying to set my own path. I don't want to be exactly like them, so yeah.
Awesome. Dylan, to you. Take me through that main event. You got out front, got the whole shot, and you knew Austin was right there. Did you know how close he was? Were you managing that? It seemed like you both were kind of doing a little bit of cat and mouse, and everything obviously changed there with a few minutes to go. But just kind of take me through the middle laps of that race, Dylan.
Yeah, of course, I knew where Austin was. I was looking at some time, but yeah, I just made a small mistake not jumping a rhythm when I saw yellow flag, and yeah, it cost me a few seconds, and yeah, he break the gap and was able to attack me on the next lap. So yeah, big mistake for me.
Austin, congratulations on the win. Same kind of question. You guys, obviously you're behind him, so you knew what was going on in front of you. Were you being patient there in the middle, or were you looking for an opportunity? Just where was your mindset there about halfway through?
Yeah, I was being pretty patient. I knew that with those tight turns that lappers would kind of come into play pretty like heavily. So I was just kind of waiting. Like I caught him pretty quick after I got by Craig, and then we kind of evened out. Like we were kind of, I'd be faster, he'd be faster. We were just kind of cat and mouse, like you said. And then I kind of just saw an opening, and I just went for it. Really, that was, I mean, the track was pretty like. Once we found kind of that pace, we were kind of matching each other. So I was like just waiting for any little thing, and then I was like needed to pounce because that's just what I had to do.
Congrats. Eli, moved to the 450 class. You, Kenny, and Cooper were all at one point on the live timing. You were like 3 seconds apart, each one of you. And it just seemed like nobody could make up much distance. You would lose, you would catch a little bit. Were you in that main event, at least in the second half, were you in management mode at all? Or did you have another gear that you maybe could have found? Or were you thinking championship at that point?
I was pushing the first half, like you said, and I was actually creeping up on the front two there, and then it wasn't enough. I hit a few lappers and didn't get through them really clean, and then they both kind of broke away a little bit, and it just at that point it wasn't worth the push for me. I was trying. I mean, got a little bit sketchy in the whoops twice. I'm like, all right, let's change lines here. I moved over, and that left side actually was quite a bit better. I was bummed I didn't see that early on. I was fast in the middle, at the start of the race, but then I had a few of those little squirrel moments, and was a little bit bummed about that. But yeah, the pace was pretty hot, there. So it just, I was kind of no man's land. It felt like after half.
Cooper, to you, it looked like late in that main event, you started getting that rhythm section after what was the first corner, wheeling or jumping up over, then going 3-3. I saw you doing that early in the day. Did you know that was available? What took so long to get that in the main event? Because I know you did it early, but I didn't see it early in the main. Just kind of take me through that.
Yeah, I was able to do it in practice, and during the heat I tried it a few times, and I think the track work with the way they did it changed the angles a bit, and I couldn't do it in the heat. I tried about 4 times, so yeah, I only did it. I think I tried it the last 3 laps of the main, just really trying to make something happen. But yeah, I mean, it was something that I just felt like wasn't quite there. I wish I would have tried it a little sooner. I mean, it was tough tonight. I mean, we were all so close in times that it was a game of tenths here and there. So, that's what ended up I felt like I charged hard there at the last half, but just too late. I let him, get out front, and he had that gap, and yeah, it was still a good race, but it was we were all close in times for sure.
Kenny, congratulations. My question to you is just that 5 to 10 minutes that you're on the gate before the main, with everything that you're going through, it just seems like it's been piling on you. What are you thinking about on the main before the gate drops? Those 10 minutes is there hope? Is there optimism? I mean, just what are the thoughts going on while you're in the gate and you're getting ready to do a 20+1?
I honestly just always lay it out there. Like, I don't ever want to, give up. But obviously, some of the races, like the last two, were just, honestly, last three were just crazy. And it's something that, you go in and I just go as long as I can. And, obviously that hasn't really been the whole race, but, I just like my post said that I did on Instagram, I'm just going to come here and try again. Like, it's really tough after having so many negative races in a row, 3 of them really. And it's tough to come here and then and come out and pretend like nothing happened, even though that's my plan. Like, I try and come here and pretend like nothing ever happened. It's tough, but at least though, I knew at least from Wednesday to Sunday that I have a little bit more time to get everything back in check. And it's a bummer that it has been the way it has been, but at the same time, there's nothing really I can change. I'm always going out there and trying to do my best. And I'm not saying that from Sunday and then Wednesday and now that all of a sudden, I go from 0 to 100 and everything is 100%, but I just need it to be where it's manageable.
Well, congratulations. It was an awesome ride. And congrats to all you guys. We'll start things off with Michael Antonovich.
All right. Michael Antonovich, Slot Moto Live. This one is for Ken. When you're in the lead at the halfway point of the race, considering how these last few have gone, and that's when your energy levels have seemed to have slipped off these last few weeks, what was your pace like, and what did it feel like for you? Because at that point, you started putting a bigger gap on guys. Did it feel like once you got over a hurdle, things came easier, or did it just feel natural at that point?
It honestly felt somewhat natural. I knew it was going to, obviously all the lap times have been super short, and we obviously always racing 20+1, but having that many laps, the tracks get chewed up, and I honestly was just hitting my marks. It wasn't like I was going a crazy speed or whatever, but you couldn't either, because those flat turns can really get you. So I was really trying to, I don't know necessarily if I was the best there. I don't think I was, but I was really trying not to stall the bike either, because we're literally almost on a dead stop right there. And so that made for some interesting racing, because we had 2 of them, 2 flat turns like that. So but other than that, I really just try to hit my marks, ride as clean as possible. The whoops got really chewed up, and we had a couple of ruddy turns. But overall, I just try to hit my marks, and I try to hang in there as long as I can.
Jason Wygant.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. This is for Kenny also. So you announced you have shingles. What does it actually feel like? Did you even feel the effects at all in this race? And what did you feel like in some of the bad races? What is the actual physical feeling that at least got a little bit better?
It was crazy, because I woke up and you can never, like in the morning, you wake up and you take things slow, whatever. And then I went out to practice and came back in, and I got changed. And my wife was actually like, what do I got? I had it right on my tailbone. That's where I got like a red mark. It wasn't that big. It was only about this big. So it wasn't huge, but it was starting to blister. And so we were like, man, what the heck? And I had, a couple of people, I had Dr. Faulkner look at it and whatnot. And I actually, after the race, went and I got a blood test done and everything to see if that's what it was. And I did test positive for it. But the good thing was that as soon as that started, Dr. Faulkner put me on some medication. We caught it right away, right? Like it popped up, and then the same afternoon after the race, I could go and get that medication. So we had it right away. But basically, I think it's an immune system problem again, right? So I just felt super lethargic, and I had no, obviously you could see how I was riding out there. It was, I've never seen anything like it, but I just had no aggression and felt tired, and just, I don't know. It was like I was out of my body. It was crazy. I didn't really get too much pain. I mean, when I was touching it or something like that, it definitely was sensitive and whatnot, but I didn't get any crazy pains, like how some people said that's what shingles do. but that's, I think, because we caught it super early. So then it started like opening up at one point a little bit, like the blisters start opening, but we got lucky that we caught it early. Now it's starting to go away.
Steve Mathis.
Question. Sorry, thank you. Question for Kenny again. Kenny, again, great ride tonight. And judging off your last few races, this was quite a surprise. Did you surprise yourself? Did you feel any better in practice? And we saw the heat race was good again. Did you feel surprised at all or any better throughout the day to know that you could do this in the main event?
After those last races, of course, this came as a little bit of a surprise. My dad actually messaged me in the morning and wished me good luck and everything. And I told him I'm winning today. And I don't know, I kind of just put it in my head. And it's hard to judge because obviously even on the races that I didn't do good, the heat race was fine. But I always feel throughout the day that there's something lingering. And still to this point, like there's something, I don't know, there's something that makes you like tired and just makes you feel weird. Like you just know, and it's really hard to describe. And I think only the people that have experienced, the Epstein-Barr and like the whole shingles and the immune system problem that I have, I guess. But having said that, having these couple of extra days and I've struggled with this before and managed it just fine. And I think I just got to a point right now where it's backed off enough or suppressed enough to where I can handle it.
Steve Giberson.
Thanks, Daniel. For Eli, are you happy where you're at right now with where the points are at? 2 races to go. Talk about that a little bit.
I think I'm in a good spot right now. I'm still in a position to where if I go perform good next week, right, and win, I can control my own destiny that way. So yeah, I'm happy right now.
Okay.
That's really all I have to say is like I'm in a good spot, I think.
Gotcha. And since I don't think we've ever had a rider in a hot tub during a press conference, Jet, talk about that heat race. You got a crazy start in there, and then talk about the first turn there.
Yeah, I got an amazing start, but I ran a little wide, but apparently Faulkner was exiting stage right also. But yeah, we ended up both going down anyways. But it was a bit of a not really called for. Like I'm not even in the championship, but it's whatever he thinks. And yeah, ended up getting not the best. Ended up getting back to I think 6. But yeah, it's all I really need, which was pretty good because I was pretty pissed off about it, obviously. And I ended up coming back and getting on podium for the first time, so that's definitely a plus.
Yeah, you made quite a charge there at the end.
Yeah, I was feeling really good. A lot of the guys started to, I don't know if they were fading, but I started to get better and better every lap. So yeah, I definitely made a pretty good charge, I reckon.
David Iser.
Thank you, Mr. Blair. Austin Faulkner, it seems like during the break you came out as a different rider in Salt Lake City. You seem like you've been criticized by people for maybe not being aggressive enough, including myself. I'll own that. What has changed during the break where you've come out, where you seem like you're a different rider? Even last week, you held that pace. You weren't hunted down. This week, you caught Dylan from behind. You gave him some of his own medicine. It seems like you're a different dude.
I don't know. I just been working super hard in the off season, or I say off season, the 3-4 month break, whatever we had. I've just been working hard, and my trainer Robbie Reynolds put me kind of through the ringer. Like he just knew or just saw like how good I was last year, and he felt that maybe I wasn't quite back to how I was before I did my ACL. So we just been working hard and to get my fitness back up a little bit, just to make me, I guess, confident in my knee, or I don't know, just be better. And I guess it's worked because now 2 wins in Salt Lake, and just my riding, I'm better. Before I was struggling in the whoops. Now that was in the main today. That was my strong point. So I don't know, just been working on stuff like that. Working on the bike, I think we've got that better too. Just a combination of all those things, and it's crunch time. I have to win. I came into this Salt Lake City trip not wanting anything else. And that's like, I have to try to win out. And then that still might not even be enough depending on how things shake up behind me. But I'm just worried about me, and that's what I got to do. So, I mean, honestly, pressure for me is kind of off. Like, I just got to go for it. So.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what happened with Hunter Lawrence, but you want to officially just bury the hatchet with the Lawrence brothers and just say what's in the past is in the past, and let's just continue. Let's just move on.
Yeah.
Still get one, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Nothing against them. I mean, they're both riding good. If you believe in karma, well, Hunter got me back as soon as Jet went down in the heat race, I ran straight to the back of Hunter and I went down. So I don't know. I'm not really like, I'm not, trying to be best friends with anybody by any means, but I'm not trying to just have everybody not like me. So it's just one of those things that happens. And sometimes you just got to shrug it off as it is what it is. Things happen. So I don't, sometimes you make good decisions. Sometimes you make bad decisions. I've made my share of bad decisions. Is what it is.
And then one quick question for Jet. Jet, on the post-race podium with Daniel Blair, you said you're just happy to be alive. I mean, you're 16, so what has happened where you're just happy to be alive at 16 years old?
I don't know. I was just too excited. Those just words coming out of my mouth. Really, I didn't know what I was saying. But yeah, I was just happy to be alive and to be really experiencing that, because I bet other 16-year-olds are getting to do what I'm doing, traveling the world, and getting to race with like some of the fastest guys in the world. So no, I'm definitely just happy to be alive and be able to do that.
All right, thanks, guys.
Chris Cooksey.
So Ken, Roczen, I consulted a couple altitude experts, and it looks like you're staying up in Park City, and they don't know why you would stay at a higher altitude in between the races. You maybe explain that decision?
Well, I actually, coming into this, slept in an altitude tent as well. So I've prepared myself for higher altitudes, and kind of like, I was pretty confident in myself that I had plenty of time to recover, because when you're fit and once you've been in the altitude for some time, it doesn't affect you as bad anymore. And I think we're all acclimating. Like, it's really all about being acclimated and being up there. And then obviously racing at lower altitude was a good idea.
Cool. Yeah, they say typically it's about 14 days, and here we are 14 days from the start, and you look pretty good. So
yeah, it's definitely, everything takes an adjustment period. But like I said, I've done my share of preparing myself for the altitude even ahead of time. So.
And then Cooper and Eli, I was wondering, what are you guys' thoughts? That first turn, Cooper, you clearly hit the brakes and kind of slid and definitely made contact with Eli's front wheel. Maybe you kind of talk through that.
I didn't even know that. No, I mean, I was coming in hot. I know someone was on my outside, and I was just trying to kind of keep my line, and then those bails seemed to come up quick, so I had to hit the brakes. I felt like I hit somebody, but I didn't know who it was.
It was close there, so I don't know. First turns are always chaos.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
LeBig.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel. This is a question for Austin. Austin, did you see Dylan not jumping the yellow flag, and did you know that was right there, yet you're going to pass him?
Yeah, I saw that, and I didn't know, if like he meant to do that, or if, there was like a red cross flag. I didn't really, I kind of had some like, oh, like did I, but it was just a yellow flag. But I kind of used that. Like I knew I was gonna maybe try to make something happen in the next turn, but I just wasn't close enough. But I knew I was pretty strong in the whoops and then that next section and the dragon back. So I don't know if it was that lap that I made the pass on him at the finish, but I think that was kind of what got me close enough to where I was, close enough to make a pass. And I just hung there maybe it may have been that lap, it may have been another lap, but it was kind of that let me get close enough. So, yeah, I didn't really know what was going on. Honestly, I don't even think I saw anybody down in the section, so I don't even know what they're flagging for. But, yeah, I mean, I just used it.
Okay, thank you.
Dark side.
Eli, so with that first turn incident, you could have very easily went down. It seems like a lot of times in championship years, when you're on pace, obviously, to win a championship, things just start falling into place. Some of those little things that could go wrong in other years. Do you sense that this is just everything's going right?
Oh, it's so hard to say. You just, yeah, it's, for one, it's we still have 2 to go, but it's so hard to say. I look back at other years and, you always think about a couple of races that you could have done better or made a few more passes. And, but I don't know, maybe that is there. We'll see. For sure though, I've made better recoveries this year. When I look back at races like Atlanta, a few of those races where I have been buried back, and, those other years I've gotten, 9ths and 10ths, and this year I've been able to get back to, 4th or 3rd or whatever it may be. So that is what, has been different this year.
Ron, Dylan, you've had issues with starts in the past, but you've got 2 whole shots in heat races and then a main event whole shot tonight. You've been working on that. What's DV been pushing to do?
I don't know. We always work on start, but I just feel like the star racing bike are really better on start in Salt Lake with the altitude. So I think that's a big help.
Right on.
Dan Lamb.
Yeah, for Kenny, I don't know if you got the memo, but riders are supposed to be really guarded about their health and not tell anybody anything. But throughout your career, you've been fully transparent. Where does that thinking come from, and why do you feel it's important to be so transparent?
Well, it is what it is. I mean, if you're out there doing good and winning races and getting on the podium, and all of a sudden you get lapped twice and you're 10th and just fading after 8 minutes, I mean, it's obvious. So yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I'm hoping to get that definitely in check. Like I'm trying, and we're gonna get there. But once everything is in check, I think that it'll be a little bit more on our side. Because if I get beat because I am not the best or whatever, then so be it. I would love that. I just want that to be it. But always struggling with some kind of issue that's going on is super annoying, trust me. And I'm sick of hearing it. I'm sure everybody else is. But again, it is what it is. I mean, I can only control so many things, you know what I mean? And I'm trying my best to, there's some people that have had Epstein-Barr before and it's ruined their entire career. And, we're doing our best to keep everything dormant. And sometimes, obviously being up here at altitude, that it's for everybody the same. And I feel like if I wouldn't have this issue, we wouldn't be talking about this, but it's definitely not ideal. But at the same time, I never came here saying, oh, I got a problem, this is not going to be good for me. I would never do that. I always come in a clean slate and try my best. And then unfortunately, things like this happen. The only good thing, I guess, is just that when there is something, obviously there is something. Like, for example, with the shingles, So it's not like there's nothing wrong with me and I'm just wondering what's going on, you know what I mean? Or I'm just not that bad, I guess.
Yeah, and today you very similar to on Wednesday. You started right behind Cooper, and it looked like you had the speed to go by him on Wednesday, but just couldn't find the line. How important was it for you to get by him today so you could relax and ride your own laps up front?
Yeah, it's definitely good. Like even before or when was it? Was it Sunday today, or is it? I don't even know. Sunday. Before Wednesday, I've never even gotten in actual time behind Cooper. You know what I mean? So it was nice in the heat race when we were battling. I was behind him and just actually learn a little bit more about him. And yeah, so we kind of found ourselves in the same position, and we're all trying, and there's clean racing going on and everything. So I was definitely wanting to just, if I can make the pass happen, make it happen, and then go for however long I can go and do my best. It's like what we said earlier, sometimes it was really tough to make up time. In practice, we were all super, super close. And so, but tonight, I think I felt good. I felt really good with the bike. I felt good with the track and everything. So I think it was just my night.
Nice. One last question, one for Eli. Overall, the races in Salt Lake have been really clean between you and Kenny, and and Cooper, but with both of them needing you to make a huge mistake for them to get this title, how much headspace have you given to somebody taking a shot at you, and have you done any type of thought about that and what you might do to make sure that doesn't happen?
I don't know. I'm not in those guys' heads, so I still have a really nice points lead, right? So, and we're going to be racing each other for a few more years, so there's always chance at retaliation and wrecking other people's day. That's what I have to think about that.
Fair enough. Thanks, Eli.
Alex Gilbert.
Yeah, Alex Gobert, motoonline.com. This one's for Jet. Congratulations on your first podium. Really good result. This time you're able to put it all together for the main event, coming from outside of the top 10 all the way through into third. So tell us about that run through the field, and then also passing your brother Hunter as well. You had a long way to climb up through into the podium.
Yeah, obviously had a terrible start. I got Dylan just got the jump on me and ended up closing me down. But yeah, I ended up had a really good flow, and like I was pretty pumped that there was whoops out of a turn, which I'm pretty happy about. And yeah, they came into favor. I made a lot of my passes through there, and yeah, I was really gelled with the track. And yeah, it took me a while to try and pass my brother, because obviously he's my brother. I don't want to pass him dirty, but no, definitely. It's cool to kind of see like another Lawrence out there, that's for sure. But no, it was definitely a bit of a struggle to get around him. But yeah, I didn't even know that I came from out of top 10 to third, so that's definitely pretty cool. I thought I was maybe in top 10, but no, it definitely feels good to get this P3, and definitely I felt like I've earned it from coming out of top 10.
It's been over 2 years now since you first signed with Geico Honda to race in the US, so it's been quite some time, but still that path for you to result on the podium now, it's been a pretty remarkable one, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely been a rough path to get to where we are now. So yeah, I got a little emotional after I went over the line, just going, like, everything went through my head, all the hard times we had in Europe, and eating like 2-minute noodles in Australia just to try and survive, really. So no, it definitely feels good to be finally here, and with this like such a great team. It's more Geico Honda's more like a family to us. They treat us so good. Jeff, Myshak, Ziggy, they're all so good to us. So yeah.
Tyler Tate.
For the 450 guys, Eli, Cooper, and Ken, as these last couple races come down, between tonight and Sunday, 3 races, 8 days, are you more confident in your mental strength or your physical fitness level?
I'm sorry, who is that for?
Any of the 450 guys.
Kenny, we'll start with you. We'll go 1, 2, 3 on the night. Kenny?
Well, obviously tonight has been a big step for me in the right direction. So I'm going to obviously do my best to try and keep the same level up and get even better. So it was good for me to see that I can, get these things in check and make the whole distance. And like I said, I was gelling really well with the bike. We've been tweaking it here and there, and I was really happy with it tonight. So when I come back on Wednesday, clean slate, like pretend like even with these wins, I mean, it's nice to, after having some down races, to get this win. So it's definitely nice going into the next race, knowing that we had a good night. So I'm going to hold on to that positive energy, feel good about myself, and just come back and try again.
Cooper, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in a good spot. I mean, 2 more to go. I think Eli, like you said, is in a good position. So, I know it's getting tight with me and Ken now for the second in this series. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to these last 2. I think there's obviously if the championship's the goal, but if it's not the championship, second in points is always a plus. So, yeah, I think we're all 3 riding really good. It's nice, me and Eli's been battling, and tonight we saw Ken get in there, and so seems like he's, figured out his health tonight and should be, back to normal, which will be cool. So I think the 3 of us should hopefully battle these last 2, and should be pretty fun.
Eli.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like right now, like it's us 3 and Zach that really can make the full distance right now. So not really going to change anything and just try to keep doing what we've been doing.
Michael Antonovich.
All right, thanks, Daniel. This one is for Eli. Even though everybody right now is talking about you closing in on what's going to be your first Supercross championship, the other thing that you've been doing lately with these race wins is establishing your hierarchy in the all-time wins list. Considering you have quite a while left in your career to go, you've never really talked about how important this is. Is this something that you put a lot of thought into right now, or is it just a nice addition to everything else that goes on with racing?
It's hard to talk about, whatever, where you're at on the list, but try to just get through these two and then see where we're at.
All right. And then for Cooper, into that really rutted corner, you kept going 2-2 all night where other guys were going 3-1. Was there something that you felt like, hey, I need to do this instead of launching all the way into those ruts?
No, I think it was like I was actually hitting the whoops really good tonight, and I haven't watched the video, but it just seemed like I couldn't jump out like I needed to kind of downside the last whoop to get the 3. And so that was something that I just kept kind of messing up. And the 3-1 was definitely, I think, a little bit quicker. So, yeah, I mean, it was definitely not strategy. It was more just not being able to kind of get that section quite right. But, yeah, I would have loved to been able to do it every lap for sure.
Thanks, man.
3 more questions. We'll go Steve Mathis, Jason Wygant, and Steve Giberson. Steve, go ahead.
Hey, Dylan, this question is for you. Do you feel like you're riding as well as you did when the series ended? It's been a long time. And do you feel like you're as good as ever, or are you still feeling a little bit like catching up to the Salt Lake City?
I don't know. I feel that I'm better than before. Just on a race day, the first one was tough physically, and with the bike, I struggled a little bit on the setting. And this one, I was feeling awesome all day, and yeah, crash in the heat, bad gate on the main, it doesn't help me. And I don't know, on the main, maybe just not used to be on front that soon, and just I don't know what happened. Like I say, I missed one rhythm section, and I think it cost me a lot, but it's okay. I mean, I after when Austin passed me, I was feeling great, and I came back strong, and best lap of the race, and feel not that much tired at the end of the race. So it's all feel good for the last one. Just maybe I need to protect more my inside now, and I don't know.
Jason Wygant.
Yeah, I have 2. The first one is for Eli. I know outdoors last year you worked really hard at Washougal and Budds Creek to try to win those races and wrap the title early. So is that the goal going in, to try to get this done early, or are you just going to try to take what you can get, kind of the way the second half of this main event worked out?
It would be nice. It would be really nice. I mean, if the start is there and I'm in the position, heck yeah, I'm going to go for it. But gotta think long game at this point. So if the start's there, and the opportunity's there, heck yeah, I'm going to go for it.
All right, thanks, Eli. And I just want to ask both Dylan and Austin, to have a championship this close and with a showdown with East and West, just both your thoughts. I guess I'll ask Dylan first. Your thoughts on having a showdown and a small lead with East and West together?
I think it's gonna be hot. Like we're gonna have a more good rider, but also on the East Coast, I feel like a lot of riders are injured now, and there is really Shane and Chase that are on top, and I feel like they can match our speed. But after except these two, I think behind there is a small gap. So for sure it's gonna be crazy, because we have our championships, they have their championships, so it's gonna be such a crazy showdown for sure.
Thanks. Austin?
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm hoping that I can just put some riders in between me and Dylan. Obviously, like I need the points, so that's what I'm hoping. It's hard to tell watching races how fast everybody is. Like, but I think obviously Shane and Chase are going to be the two that we're going to have to deal with, that are going to be like the biggest threats. So. Yeah, it'll be interesting. More fast guys always makes it, always just changes things a little bit. So yeah, it'll be interesting, and I'm still just trying to win the races. That's all I'm trying to do.
Last question, Steve Giberson.
Dylan, after you pulled off the track and you're cooling down over there, watching you have a good long time to think about that, what was going through your head in there? Was it frustration? Was it trying to figure out what you say on the podium? What was going on there?
Yeah, for sure. That was full frustration. It's been a kind of long time I haven't been beat so easy. So I was really mad about myself and frustrated because, yeah, it's not normal to running the red plate in the number one and get beat like that. So I was really mad at me. And, yeah, I tried to think about what to say on the podium. Obviously, no excuse and don't want to say any excuse. Just try to stay professional. But I just want to yeah. I was so mad I couldn't find that much of words, so I took some time to breathe. And yeah, just it's not that. I mean, I just lost the race. I still have 7-point leading, so it's fine. But yeah, I was really mad at me for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you guys very much for being on tonight. Austin, Dylan, Jet, congratulations, and of course Kenny, Cooper, Eli, good job tonight. Thank you guys again, and we'll see you in a few days.